this one's hard for me to talk about, yeah? Like, this is some deep shit for me. There's a lot of things I talk about on socials, but there's a hell of a lot I don't, and when the time's right, I suppose I'll bring it to the table, eventually I'll tell my story to the fullest, but I really appreciate the time I have out here with my loved ones and with people I care about, and this is the reason why, because life's full of lessons, and man, I've learnt plenty of them along the way, so this is what it is, we're going back a while now. I'd got caught on a case, so I was drug blue at the time. I got 5 with a 3 for trafficking drugs. I would have been about 25 at the time, and when I went away, I had a beautiful dog that I'd had for over 10 years. She was just like Bonnie to me. Her name was Soxy. She was a pit bull. I'd had her since I was about 15, and I grew up with her. And obviously my dad, that's another subject I'm going to bring to the table. This is about my dog and my dad, And so when I went away, my dad and my dog was 10 years old. She was getting on, and my dad was sick. He's an alcoholic. He was robbed of his potential from alcohol, and he drank himself pretty much into the grave. And so I copped a 5 with a 3. I had 3 years to do at that time. And when I went away, man, I thought they're both going to go while I'm gone. And that's the sacrifice I made for living that street life and being a greedy cunt and thinking that, that street life and code of the streets and money and all the rest of the bullshit was fucking meant more to me at that time than what really means more to me now, which is my loved ones. And so I went away, and there was about, 3 years to do. And so it's hard for me to talk about, guys. But anyways, right, so I'll get this 100, get this sorted. So I used to get phone calls, like I'd get a phone call, I'd make a phone call to my family and that, and one of them would say, oh, guess what happened? I think, oh no, my dog's dead. They're going to drop it on me. I'd be in the cell, and the buzzer would go, Gary Wright, come to the office. If I run down to the office, I think, oh, my fucking dad's passed away, because that's how they deal with it, they need to speak to you. And that happened for fucking 3 years. And anyway, so I waited for them to go, and they didn't. They waited for me, When I come home, my dog was deaf and blind. She could only see about a foot in front of her. She couldn't hear anything, and she was really loyal, well-behaved and stuff, so it was hard to work with her because everything had to be hand signals. It had to be right in front of her, to make her sit. I couldn't be like, sit. I had to be right up in her grill and sort of click and tell her to sit down. And it was real hard work, And then she was broken, man. She wasn't the dog she was when I left. We spent every day together, and she'd fucking weathered while I was away. She broke, And anyway, my fucking dad, he used to come in and see me when he could, He was on the pension, and he'd catch a train up and stuff and bus, and he'd come and see me, and he couldn't come and see me for the last 6 months or so. He was getting really sick, and it was hectic times, but he spoke to me while I was in jail before I come home, and he said, "Oi, boy," because we used to go to the footy. He's a mad Bomber supporter, and he used to say, "Oi, boy, when you come home and that," he goes, "we'll get a membership and that, and we'll go to the footy." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet," and he goes, "Oh, I've got the package. They sent some hats and some stickers, and this is how much it costs." I said, "Yeah, sweet, Dad, for sure. When I was in jail, that's all good. Let's do it, And I come home to me dog, deaf and blind, and just hit the streets running, I fucking got back into what I did, and I hadn't learnt my lesson. I didn't end up going to the footy with Dad, and he passed away while I was out. I was out for 2.5 years that time before I went back, and in that 2.5 years, Dad passed away, and we didn't go to the footy, and that sits with me like hectic, like that was his everything. He just wanted to, I was his only son, and he just wanted to go to the fucking footy with his boy one last time, or if not many, and You know, I fucking been a greedy cunt and thinking, yeah, I'll get there, you know, I'll be there soon, Dad, you know, fucking them ones and that. I went back to the streets and sacrificed our relationship and those good times that I could have had. You know, those last good times I could have had with him, I sacrificed that. So that fucking sits with me, you know, and I know I'll see him again. And, you know, like if you're out there, man, just cherish your loved ones. But I'm like, going back to my dog, so what a legend of a dog that was, you know. She was so cool. She started to weather on and she ended up, it was New Year's Eve. So she ended up living to 2011 New Year's Eve. She was about February the 13th, 1997 she was born. So she was about 6 weeks off 15 years. And anyway, I fucking, yeah, bro, fucking anyway, so I had her at my mum's and she's just like, her hips were buckled, she was deaf, she was blind, she just wanted to lay down, get up, eat, go to the toilet, go back to bed. And I'd come over to my mum's, I was living out the area, and I'd come over to my mum's and I was getting ready because we had a party in our local area, go to a New Year's Eve party, and I was getting ready at my mum's. So I ended up shaving my head and stuff, and I was going to have a shower, and I walked out the back and I was having a cigarette, and I was like, my mum come out and she had a chat to me, and I walked up to my dog and she was laying down and looked up the Soxy, and I said to her, you know, knelt down, it was a little me and her time, and I said, I love your socks, you know, you're a fucking soldier and that. I said, what are you doing? And I laughed with her. I said, what are you doing? You know, you just don't want to give up, do you? I said, you just don't want to give up. I said, you're a dead set soldier. I said, mate, you know, we've had a good inning, Socks, you know. I said, I love you. I said, just let go, bub, you know, just let go, babe, you know. I said, yeah, I fucking love you to death and it's all right, you know. And give her a big kiss and a hug. I was speaking to her for a few minutes. My mum was like a few metres away, standing over my shoulder, sort of sitting off watching. And yeah, man, I had a little moment with her and I walked off, and before I even got back inside, my mum's like, Gary. And I've turned back and I've looked, and as I've walked off, she's gone to get up and just passed away. And like, man, that dog was so obedient to her last breath. She was still doing as she told, you know. And she obviously felt that I was okay with it and I was okay to let go. It's okay to let go. And she obviously felt that because we were connected at the soul for sure. You know, we were besties. And yeah, man, she's not here anymore, you know. And so there's just like, you know, like my dad and that sits heavy with me, you know, my dog and my dad, you know, like what I sacrificed, you know, for a life of drugs, jail and crime is absolutely bullshit, you know what I mean? Like you're out there fucking doing them ones and all the rest of it. And man, like I could have had plenty of time extra with my dog, you know what I mean? Maybe if I didn't go away, you know, who knows what we could have got up to, you know, plenty more runs and walks and fucking cuddles and all the rest of it. And my dad, man, I'm sure we could have had 100 footy games, you know, went to and had some good times and knuckles because they won and stuff like that. So, you know, that shit's serious to me and no bullshit. And, you know, everybody watching, take it how you like it, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm human like everybody else, and that shit hurts, you know, like, and that's my fuck up. That's my bad, you know, that's my blue. I've got to own that shit. It is what it is, you know. But that's something I carry with me, man, that, you know, and this is why I say drugs, jail and crime's not worth it. And this is one of many stories that I sacrificed, you know. I sacrificed so much that means everything to us in this world, you know, and I sacrificed a lot of it for fucking drugs, jail and crime, you know, living that shit life. So this is why I do what I do today. And man, if you can pick up what I'm putting down, man, if you've got a dog or you've got a family member or you've got a loved one, man, go up to them, give them a fucking hug, man. You know, tell them you love them and cherish every day with them, because, you know, in a second it can all be gone, you know. And don't waste those good times for just fucking toxic, fucking materialistic shit, you know what I mean? True story. All right, love you, leave you, peace out.